Welcome back, everyone. Well, I know we're not supposed to play favorites. At least that's what my parents told me. But one of my favorite places, period, is Bob's Trees out in Galway. And if many of you know it, and if you don't know it, we're about to tell you more about it. And joining me today are the third generation partners. A friend of mine, Kathy Doyle. Kathy, welcome back.
Thank you.
Very nice to have you. And another partner, Doug Eaton. So welcome, Doug.
Thank you.
Very nice to have you. With that setup of third generation, Kathy, give us a little history of Bob's Trees.
Well, Robert Eaton, my grandfather, started it in 1942.
Wow.
Picked up, said, no, let's do something, let's try some Christmas trees. Mm-hmm. So he started planting Christmas trees, and then when his sons, my father and Doug's father, started, graduated from college actually, they got involved in it and tried to expand on it a little bit more, so we got into nursery stock as well.
Gotcha. Now that nursery part, that followed roughly in the 60s, isn't that what you told me?
Yeah, yes, late 60s, early 70s.
I got you. Okay, so, obviously with the generations, as you go through the generations, you start to expand and then you start to think about other things that you could do. You went to school for this, which I found pretty fascinating, right?
Yep, I have a 2-year degree in horticulture. Yep.
Wow. And you know what? I happen to grow up in a very rural area myself. All my friends worked on farms and stuff like that. If you get started in this business, there's two things. You start young, and it's hands-on, right? Do you remember how young you were when you started?
Probably 10, 12 years old.
Oh, my God.
Working here and there, doing small tasks, and by 14, I was definitely out in the fields working through my summers. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Everyone else having fun, I was working.
Yeah, absolutely right. That's sure. Yeah, and something about our fathers at that point where we're just like, you're not doing anything until you get this done, right? And let's face it, it's hands-on. Yeah. And early in the morning, too. We might also go there, too, right?
Not too bad compared to some, but it's not a 9 to 5.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not a 9 to 5, or 5 days a week, by the way.
That's right.
Yeah, for sure. I want to talk a bit about the expansion. A lot of people know you for Christmas trees, and we'll get into that. But in that, as part of expanding and going into the nursery area, Kath, with David Eaton, her father, took me for a great tour of the fields there where you were growing shade trees.
Yes.
Now that's something you specialize in, right?
Yes, we have shade trees and evergreens.
Got you. Now, for our viewers who don't know a lot about shade trees, what category is that? What trees fall into that category?
Maples, oaks, lindens, crab apples.
Wow, the beautiful trees,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And the oak trees, oh my God. How the heck do you grow an oak tree? I don't get that one.
It takes time.
Yeah, it does. They kind of go at their own pace, don't they? When I was there, and Dave gave me the tour, he took me through a field that had a very interesting irrigation system. Doug, what was that?
We do, since about 2007, a pot-and-pot growing operation, and what that is the trees are actually in a socket pot that stays in the ground for many years, and then every year when you replant or plant in your pots, that tree goes into the socket pot where it'll stay for about 2 years time as we grow it, and then goes to be harvested for market.
Well, you know what? There's so much care involved there, but there's a lot of science involved with that too, right? Because I looked at that irrigation system, and it was pretty damn complicated.
It is and it isn't, but yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. You need to be very careful about how much water you put in the trees, because not enough is obviously detrimental. Most people know that, but you can actually overwater trees with this type of system. So you have to be careful with it's all on timers, and every system, every block has its own time that it stays on for. And we also run fertilizer through the irrigation line.
That's right, I remember that.
And so there again, with your science, figuring out, we want 600 parts per million nitrogen to go into those plants. And so, yeah, there's a little bit that goes into it.
Well, you know what? It just points to something that they've done for generations. It's one thing to go to a big box store, buy something, you don't know where it comes from or whatever, but these are trees that are grown right at Bob's Trees.
That's correct.
Yes. And I've seen the crab apples too. I mean, I don't think there's a tree more beautiful than a crab apple, personally. They really are something. Christmas trees, we got to talk about that. Oh, before we jump into that, it's the fall. And Doug was telling me before we went on air that you can pretty much plant any time of year, but you have to be very cognizant of the life cycle of the plant or tree. Correct?
Yeah. Most plants can be planted any time of the year. A big problem people have is summertime. Reason for that is either they're on vacation or it's so hot out they don't want to be outside. So then the plant doesn't get the water that it needs. So if the plants are being watered, you can plant in the summertime. You can plant in the fall. We advise not to plant too late because then it doesn't have much time to get established in the ground before winter. But you can definitely plant there. Another thing to keep in mind is that you don't want to plant or transplant the wrong thing. There are things that have a fall dig hazard, so you don't want to move certain items like a birch or oaks, things like that.
Now, is that because you used the word that really caught my attention? You said, the plants or the trees themselves, they can go into shock. That if it's the wrong time of the year, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Wow, that's something. Who'd have thought that,
Yeah, usually if you're going to dig something or transplant where you're actually basically damaging the root system when you move it, it's best to do it either before anything leaves out in the spring or in the fall when the leaves come back off, or if it's an evergreen, before the new growth pushes out or after it's hardened off.
Right, God, you're so knowledgeable about this stuff. All right, we got to talk about the holiday season. We've been out there between the sleigh rides, and they make wreaths out there. You can watch wreaths being made, great cross-country trails. Again, talking like we were with the shade trees, there are different types of Christmas trees.
Yes.
Correct? And not all Christmas trees are created equal. If you live in Manhattan for more than one winter, you realize you buy a tree, by the time you get it home, it doesn't have any needles on it. So that's a true story, by the way.
We're trying to change that. Hopefully we'll get some trees down in New York City here in the next couple of years. There's a big movement right now that people are trying to promote locally grown trees, because most of the trees in New York City don't come from New York.
Mm-hmm. No, they don't, of course. What kind of Christmas trees are there? I hear Douglas fir, balsam, something, right, Kathleen?
Fraser fir, balsam fir,
right,
and blue spruce are the top ones for our business.
And why are those the top ones? What are the differences in those trees?
Balsam fir is great for the fragrance. Fraser fir is best for needle retention. Blue spruce is great for color.
Yes, I'll go with
nice
that.
Nice and full.
Oh yeah, have you been mystified by that color? That's just such a beautiful color. And balsam fir for the smell.
Yes.
Right, because everybody wants that, right? You ever see those people, they go looking for trees and stick their nose right in the tree to know what it is. You're talking about one of the most respected Christmas tree providers, that's the way I would say it, in the North Country for sure. And the cross-country trails, you do sleigh rides. I know warming hut's not the right word, snack bar is not the right word, but you want to get out of the cold, you can get inside, right?
That's right.
Yep, we can get into the lodge, and we have not fireplaces, but we have stoves that you can warm up and get some hot chocolate, fresh pies. Mm-hmm. Maybe you need a little something to eat. There's hamburgers and hot dogs and homemade chilies and homemade soups as well, just to warm you up a little bit.
Well, I can tell you firsthand that there's no place like Bob's Trees. It's just something about it. You feel the generations. Everybody is so passionate about what you do. Everybody's hands-on. I've been in that barn where they make the wreaths, and everybody, the attention to detail, and how unusual they are. They're always like works of art, these wreaths, right? They're so different. Yeah. Grab a great tree, bring the family out there, go cross-country skiing. It's just one of the best places. You know what? I got to close with one thing. You showed me a photo once, Catherine, when we were out there. It was like a 1930 Ford pickup or something like that, right?
Yes.
Tell just quickly, what's that?
That is a customer that has come every year, as long as the weather allows. He's got a specific weekend he comes, and he brings that all the way from Saratoga Springs, puts his tree in the back of the car, drives his, I think it's granddaughter, and they just enjoy it. And we love having them there. It's just a great photo opportunity for us, too.
It's just neat because they enjoy doing it, but the people that see it there, they get a big kick out of it. So they're actually providing some free entertainment for us.
Yeah, that's great. Plus the legacy, and again, the whole idea that he's bringing his granddaughter now, right? Isn't that something? Well, Kath, it's great to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming. Really nice to meet you, Doug. Thank you for coming in. And don't forget, this is Bob's Trees out in Galway. You got to go. So thank you again for coming in.
All right.
To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.